You are subsidizing the billionaire's AI boom with your power bill.
What the hell is going on with utility bills? Why the fuck is electricity so goddamn expensive?
I just need someone to explain something to me. I live in Alabama and my utility bill usually averages between $200 to $250 a month. Can someone please explain to me how my utility bill went from $250 a month to $696?
We're hearing about another power company that wants to raise its rates. At the start of this year, PGE already did, and customers are paying about 18% more on their power bills.
One of my Georgia power bills this summer was $900, and as I sat and thought about it, I got pissed the fuck off.
Let's be honest, at this point, opening your power bill in America feels like opening a jump scare. You turn on the AC for 5 minutes and somehow your bill jumps by $80. You boil water, make coffee, charge your phone. Congratulations, that'll be another $40. Every month, Americans are asking the same question. How is my electricity bill more expensive than my rent? And the answer is simple. Because the system is broken, the companies know it, and the government pretends it doesn't exist. Welcome to America's power bill crisis, where the lights stay on, but the people paying for it get crushed. Americans are dealing with a new monthly nightmare, the unpredictable electricity bill. You cut back on usage, you unplug everything. You switch off lights like you're running a military operation. You wash clothes on cold, cook less, use fans instead of AC, and somehow the bill still grows. Why? Because the price per kilowatt hour keeps rising. And it rises quietly behind the scenes. Utility companies file for rate increases every year, sometimes twice a year, sometimes during economic crises when families are already struggling, and the regulatory boards that are supposed to protect consumers. Yeah, they approve those increases like they're stamping papers at the DMV. For millions of Americans, the electric bill has become the second rent, a bill filled with extra charges like delivery fee, adjustment fee, supply cost demand charge, grid maintenance fee, a fee for breathing. Probably, and the worst part, even when usage drops, these fixed fees keep climbing, forcing your total higher regardless of how you live. People didn't change their lifestyle. The system changed the price.
One of my Georgia power bills this summer was $900, and as I sat and thought about it, I got pissed the fuck off because it's not fair and it's not right. Now, how this works, and I'm gonna be out your way real quick. How this works is public service commissioners are elected officials, keyword elected officials, who work with power companies to essentially keep power prices low. But in Georgia, the public service commissioners were appointed by Governor Brian Kemp. Keyword, they are elected officials who were appointed instead. So the ones who are in office right now who were appointed are running for election. I would say re-election, but they weren't elected. So they're running for election, and bottom line, how I want this to go is that if they are currently in office, vote for anyone who is not them. Anyone. I don't care what their party is. Democrat, Republican, blue, green, purple, orange, blue, yellow. I don't give a fuck. Anyone who is not them needs to vote. They need your vote. This is the problem. Public service commissioners took bribes, padded their pockets to get rich, get wealthy, being greedy, trifling people, and now most of our citizens are paying the price, quite literally, for their bribes and their personal issues.
We're hearing about another power company that wants to raise its rates. At the start of this year, PGE already did, and customers are paying about 18% more on their power bills. That's an extra $25 or so per single family home. And now Pacific Power wants to do something similar. The utility company is proposing a 16.9% rate hike that, if approved, would kick in at the beginning of next year. For the average residential customer, it would be an increase of nearly $30 a month. Pacific Power says the $304 million that'll come from the increase would go toward wildfire risk management, transmission infrastructure, and renewable energy projects. You may remember Pacific Power was found responsible for the Labor Day fires of 2020. The company will be forced to pay hundreds of millions of dollars. One advocacy group says PacifiCorp should not be allowed to pass wildfire lawsuit costs on to customers.
There is the, I'll say, slim potential for those costs to be included in customer rates, which would put upward pressure on customers' bills. But again, we're fighting that proceeding, and we don't think that there's precedent for those types of costs to be included in rates. And we're optimistic that the commission will deny cost recovery when the company comes in and requests it.
Again, a rate hike is not set in stone. It'll be up to the Oregon Public Utility Commission to make that call.
So residents around Tampa Bay and throughout Florida have been stunned by their electrical bills this year, particularly during the hottest months. And this is affecting all housing types, income levels, and neighborhoods. The Tampa Bay Times did an investigation of this, and they say the answer lies in a combination of imposed hurricane recovery charges, record heat, and then just the hikes to base rates that have been approved by the Public Service Commission. So they had a couple of examples. Crystal Shiner has a newer home in Land O'Lakes. She replaced her air conditioner and roof this year, which was supposed to improve efficiency. Got a bill for $529 in July from Duke Energy. But that was a lot less than the bill sent to Rain DeJesus, a hip-hop musician. He got an $845 bill in October for his Tampa townhouse. That's where he lives with his wife and 3 kids. Yeah, it seems absurd.
Yeah.
And that's what he said. He told the Times he thought the whole thing is some kind of a joke. And then the lady who got the new roof was like, this has got to be a scam. I mean, how can I be paying this much when I got the latest and greatest technology on my air conditioner and roof?
Yeah, I just went back through my Tico bills just to see, and I was going to complain about how my bill went from $146 in August of 2024 to $188 this past August.
Yeah.
My gosh.
That's about right.
Yeah.
It said in their report in the Tampa Bay Times, storm surcharges alone added $20 a month for Tico customers and $32 a month for Duke customers. And then if you have one of those homes that's not efficient, older home, you're getting hit even harder. I know my summer bill, one of them it was like right there at $200. And I'm in a 2-bedroom apartment, and that was the highest I had ever paid. Now it's come back down, and hopefully this month I stuck it out during that cold stretch. I didn't turn on the heat at all. No heat, no AC.
Well, and you also went without air conditioning for a while too. What bill was that?
Yeah, it was still really high. So I'm seeing it. I think everybody's seeing it. What was your highest bill?
Oh, almost $400.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How big is your house, Chris?
Yeah, you live in a really big house.
Electricity isn't supposed to be this complicated. But the US made it complicated. Here's the messy truth. 1. Utility monopolies. 0. Competition. In most regions, you don't choose your electricity provider. You get one company, one option, one price. If they increase rates, tough luck. They hold the grid, the wires, the power plants, everything. It's a monopoly wrapped in a public service label. 2. Aging grid. Falling apart and expensive to maintain. Some parts of America's grid are 40, 60, even 80 years old. Old lines, transformers from the 1980s, outdated meters. And when these things break, the cost goes to you. Modernizing the grid is expensive, so utilities simply raise prices and claim they're upgrading infrastructure even when the upgrades never arrive on time. 3. Natural gas price swings. Half of America's electricity relies on natural gas, meaning when gas prices jump from war, weather, supply shortages, global disruptions, your bill skyrockets. But when gas prices fall later, the bill doesn't go down. 4. Corporate greed. Profit over people utilities are not charities, they are profit machines. Every year you hear the same thing, record profits. Shareholders celebrate. CEO receives $15 million bonus. Meanwhile, the average household is arguing over whether to run the AC for 20 minutes. 5. state-level policy dysfunction. Some states have deregulated markets that turned electricity into a casino. Others have rigid, outdated pricing systems. Either way, the oversight is bad, and consumers lose. Energy companies blame policies, politicians blame energy companies, and in the end, you.
So me and Deanna was talking about these, sky-high power bills and how mine keeps going up, So, and I'm on budget billing, so, I said mine has went up the last 3 times, never went back down. So, $332 has, been my highest one. So Deanna's?
$1,100. She has not went over $800 all summer long.
No, she's not on budget billing, so she's just paying every month. But that's why I cannot have a power bill that's not on budget billing. How much? $1,100. No. You know what you're gonna need to get, Deanna? Some of these battery pack lights
I'm
here.
gonna need you to start selling feet pics for me.
Battery pack lights right there. That's gonna save you, Deanna. And you can put it on your poke salad. I'm sure you got some in the yard. If not, I've got plenty around here that you can have. So I guess my $332 ain't sounding too bad after hearing $1,100. No, my God. I would open it up and just pass out.
It's
just pass out.
8 at the highest.
Be done.
Summer. Normally 8 something.
I'd pass out on 8. Dear Lord. Alabama Power, y'all killing us.
You are subsidizing the billionaire's AI boom with your power bill. That is especially if you live near a data center, which for an increasing percentage of the United States population is the case. AI is projected to take up 28% of the data center market, but these data centers have to go somewhere near communities, and when they do, the impact on working class Americans is dramatic. Some might say crippling. It's not just AI. Most of the major tech platforms require these massive data centers, which can be as large as 17 football fields and use as much power as 100,000 homes. They also suck up billions of gallons of water, and the largest data center that is being projected is going to use 20 times the power I just referenced. But we are subsidizing that growth with our power bills because these AI data centers require massive amounts of energy. That infrastructure in our communities, well, the cost has to go somewhere. And it seems that we are subsidizing that with our residential electricity. In areas near these data centers, wholesale electricity costs are up as much as 267%. That is almost tripling your power bill, tripling the cost of your energy. One 57-year-old, Kevin Stanley, in an article by Bloomberg said, they're going up and up and up. His electricity bill was 80% higher than it was 3 years ago. But it's also the ripple effect because increasing electricity costs go everywhere, whether that's the cost of powering your vehicle or whether that's the cost of the grocery store paying for their refrigeration. All of those costs ripple out because if the grocery store has to pay more for their electricity, they're going to pass that down in how much they charge for food. The United States power grid is really, truly struggling to keep pace with this incredible expansion of data centers, but the people that are struggling the most are average, everyday people who are just seeing their power bill go up and up and up and up. And these utilities seem increasingly willing to use complex pricing schemes in how they charge you for energy, perhaps to mask the reason behind it, which is that energy demands are being driven by massive data centers, ultimately benefiting the budgets of billionaires. And until this changes, the outcome is clear for everyone. The increase of data centers is going to continue to increase exponentially the cost of electricity. It's not slowing down. And your power bill is not going down.
I just need someone to explain something to me. I live in Alabama, and my utility bill usually averages between $200 $250 a month. Can someone please explain to me how my utility bill went from $250 a month to $696 this month? Could someone just please explain that to me? I know it was cold last month, but $696? Explain!
Hey, what's up, America? Utility bills across the United States continue to go higher and higher, and I think that those companies need to be investigated for price gouging. Yes, if you haven't noticed, your utility bill, whether it be gas or electric, continues to go higher and higher every single year. Even though we're considered energy independent, we still have to pay more and more. Record prices every year, always going up, never coming down. Hell, the energy company that facilitates my area, I already know before the end of the year, prices are going up. They've already told us. No reason why. No higher cost for energy for them to get it. Just we're gonna bend you over and fuck you financially. Cause I don't know, I guess that's the thing to do. Fuck you, idiot, give me your money. But utility prices across the United States have been going up. They're up 6% so far this month. And they're expected to continue to go higher regardless of the situation. So because of this horse shit, I think that Donald Trump and his administration need to investigate utility companies. I've said it before, I'm gonna say it again. Donald Trump and your team, you need to investigate utility companies for price gouging and fucking people on purpose. This is ridiculous. We were all told that we were gonna get lower energy prices. I'll be fucked if I'm gonna pay what I did last year. You shouldn't have to choose between heating your home and eating. What the fuck is wrong with you?
You want to know a big reason why your electricity bill is going up? It's because the Trump administration is pulling the plug on all the clean energy projects across this country that would have provided cheap, unlimited power for a century to come. They pulled the plug on major wind farms off the East Coast that would have provided power. They canceled the Solar for All program that was going to help low-income homeowners get solar on their roof so they didn't have to pay electricity bills. And just today, they pulled the plug on a 6.2 gigawatt solar project in Nevada. That amount of electricity is equivalent to all of Southern Nevada's electricity use. And the Trump administration just pulled the permit so that they can sell that land off to their buddies in the oil and gas industry to drill, baby, drill, and charge us more at the pump. I don't even care if you like solar panels or you think that they're like hippie technology or whatever. You have a problem with that? Do you want to keep paying more? This is the cheapest form of power on the planet. It's ready to go. These are projects that are basically like partially built. And the administration's just taking them offline because they have some problem with it. Or like Trump has some pathological hatred of wind turbines because they ruined his view at a golf course. Bills are going to keep going up as long as this administration keeps attacking clean energy. So if you'd like your rates to go down, I don't know, maybe talk about it. Maybe let people know about that. All right, thanks.
Here's the part almost no one talks about: utility shutoffs. If you fall behind, even slightly, they cut your power quickly. No grace period, no compassion, just a letter, a deadline, and darkness. When the power goes out, life collapses. No heating or cooling, no lights, no refrigeration, no medical devices, no work from home, no internet for school, no safety at night. Your home becomes unlivable. Your food spoils, your health declines, your dignity disappears. And if you have children, the government might intervene, claiming your living conditions are a safety risk, not because you're irresponsible, but because the system priced you out of basic human needs. It's brutal. It's unfair. This is where the real damage shows. Electricity is not optional. It's not like Netflix or takeout or gym memberships. You can't cancel your electricity bill to save money. So when it becomes unaffordable, people suffer in silence. 1. Families cutting basic living standards. People are choosing between heating their home, cooling their home, buying groceries, paying medical bills. No one should have to do energy math to decide whether to cook dinner. 2. Seniors in dangerous temperatures. Older Americans are scared to turn on heaters and AC. Heat waves and cold snaps become deadly because electricity is unaffordable. 3. Low-wage workers fall behind instantly. When your job pays $15 per hour and your electric bill jumps by $100, that's days of labor gone. 4. Parents struggling, kids trying to do homework with dim lights. Moms skipping cooking to save energy, families living like they're in a survival challenge. 5. The humiliation of energy poverty. No one wants to admit they can't pay their bill, but millions are in this exact position, silently struggling. America is becoming a place where you can work full-time and still not afford the electricity to run your home.
If you live in Nevada and you use electricity, you have to listen to me right now. If you do not live in Nevada and you use electricity, this is going to come to a state near you. Nevada's electricity company, NV Energy, is implementing a massive policy change that is going to be economically devastating. Instead of charging you for the total amount of electricity you use and the periods of time that you use it, aka the fair, reasonable thing to do, they are implementing a new change in April. They are doing this. They're going to take a 15-minute period of time in your house when you use the most energy. So the 15-minute period of your day when the most energy is used. And then they're going to multiply that by 4. And then they're going to charge you the total cost per kilowatt per day based on that. So they're going to take the most expensive time, multiply that by 4 to get the hourly charge, and then they're going to charge that for the whole day. And then, of course, you will also be charged a basic service fee. Don't forget, this NV Energy was literally caught stealing $17 million by overcharging people. But now what they've decided to do is take your most expensive 15 minutes of the day, multiply that by 4, and make that your hourly rate. This is absolute insanity, and it must be stopped. This is disgusting. Let's not forget that NV Energy is trying to bill people for their exorbitant expenses, like spa services, first-class travel, and golf that they are passing on to the customers. And now they're trying to literally charge you for the most expensive time you use electricity per day and then just tack that onto you. This is absolutely outrageous. And it affects people who use solar and efficient energy services the most. It's a way to basically punish people who have electric vehicles and solar, while seemingly completely ignoring the giant electric ball of light called the sphere and the strip, which consume astronomical amounts of energy. And they're seemingly willing to pass that expense on to you when we can barely afford things like rent, groceries, and food. This is obscene. This is absolutely obscene, and it must be stopped.
Let's start a thread. What's your electric bill? Mine was $203 for the month of July, which is $61 cheaper than it was last month, which was $144. Now, June was a very mild month in the Northwest. It was actually cold, is what it felt like, to me anyway. So the AC wasn't running too bad, so $144 kind of makes sense. What I want to talk about, though, is I made this same post last month. What's up with everywhere else charging so much for their electric? It was astronomical in some of the comments. Okay, some of the ones that stick out to me was California. California's broken, I swear. People are, over $1,000 easily. Arizona, another one. That one, same, over $1,000. And then the other one that I guess kind of shocked me was Illinois. Dude. Okay, I don't know if these people are trolling me or they're just like, what are they doing in their house? I can see if you got, there's so many factors here. I don't know what they're doing in their house. Close the door. AC's just kicking up. Anyways, what was your electric bill for the month of July? Mine was $203. I'm not complaining. What was yours?
Hi, everyone. Yesterday, I submitted my formal comments to the Public Service Commission in opposition to NYSEG's outrageous rate hike. Not just scale back, not just negotiate, but an outright denial of their request to raise your utility rates well over 30%. Outrageous. But I can't do it alone. I need you to reach out to the Public Service Commission as well. Below this video is a link where you can submit formal comments to the Public Service Commission to express your outrage and call on the Public Service Commission to deny NYSEG's outrageous rate increase hike.
U.S. consumer price inflation, what we call CPI, came out Wednesday and it was higher than experts had been expecting. And one of the fastest rising components, residential electricity, isn't going to come down anytime soon. Across the country, power bills are rising faster than other household essentials. Prices were up 5% in March from a year earlier, data show, more than double the inflation rate for food or healthcare. And even if the Fed tames inflation soon, household power bills are likely to keep rising for years to come. Why? Because utility companies have several multi-billion-dollar construction projects in the works at the same time. Things like replacing fossil fuel plants with wind and solar, or beefing up the grid to make it more resilient. But they've also been hit by another huge expense they didn't plan for. Overall power demand is about to see its biggest jump in a generation, fueled in part by the boom in artificial intelligence and data centers. That means utilities are now scrambling to add new power plants and transmission lines to meet that booming demand. And once again, ratepayers are going to be left footing the bill.
Arizona friends, are you mad about your electric bill? You should be. Hey, it's Chris Sumlin. Let you know that Arizona's two biggest utility companies, APS and Tucson Electric Power, are trying to hit us with another 14% rate hike. That's about $20 extra a month just to keep the lights on. And here's the wild part, this isn't the first time that this has happened. In the past 2 years, the Arizona Corporation Commission has already approved big rate hikes as well as fuel surcharges. So if this one happens, we're talking a nearly 30% increase in less than 3 years. What most people don't know is these hikes can only happen if the Arizona Corporation Commission signs off on them. It's their job to protect us from monopoly utilities, but lately they've been acting more like a rubber stamp while these companies rank in record profits. So it's time to push back. Tell the commission how you feel and let your voice be heard. Head to the link right here on the screen and send in your letter today. Don't just complain about your electric bill, fight back.
What's your electric bill? And where do you live? I live in Southern California. My electric bill for a 2,900 square foot house, 2 AC units. The downstairs stays at 77 all the time, we don't touch it. Upstairs stays at 79 between the hours of 6 in the morning and 8:30, 9 o'clock in the evening. 8:30, 9 o'clock, we drop it down to 75. 4:30 in the morning, it goes up to 76. 6 o'clock, it goes up to 79. Don't have a pool, don't have jacuzzi. There's nothing to drain additional electricity from. My electric bill with no outstanding balance just for the month of July. Want to guess? $950. I don't keep the TV on during the day. I don't turn lights on during the day. I keep the house pretty much closed so that it doesn't take that much energy to cool back down. And, you know, before people come in and go, well, it's because you turn everything up. We're literally told to keep our air at 78. So that's what we're told to do. Now, $950 is a bargain compared to what I paid in my previous home a couple years ago. We had a 3,800 square foot home. Again, 2 AC units. My electric, and we had a pool and a jacuzzi. My electric bills at that house during the summer, $1,500. $950. Thank God I understand, and I know that, you know, the summer, the budget for the electricity is just outrageous and astronomical, and Southern California's Edison keeps raising its fucking rates because, you know, wildfires and infrastructure, and somehow it's always their infrastructure that causes the wildfires that we then have to pay the taxes to. But, you know, whatever. We won't talk about that. $950. What's your electric bill? Because if anyone tells me it's like $50, I'm gonna lose my mind. And I'm moving in with you. So just be forewarned, because do you know what I could do with $950? $950. Fuck me.
Where is the leopards ate my face, lady? Some residents in Huntsville, Alabama received this letter today from Huntsville Utilities. Dear customer, this letter informs you that your above-referenced utility account has been debited for $100. Community Action Agency of Huntsville/Madison and Limestone counties has notified us that the grant you received for $100 on January 23rd, 2025 is no longer valid due to President Trump's executive order to rescind the funding behind the grant. The grant you received for $100 has been debited to your account and will be due with your next invoice. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience. So much for slashing energy costs in half for consumers, right? Because that's what Trump promised. That's what he said he was going to do. Well, some people are finding out that thanks to some of his policy changes, they're getting an extra $100 charged this month. Yikes. I expect more things like this to come out as time marches on. Well, as always, follow me on the Substack and everywhere else. Okay, bye!
If your power bill makes you feel like you're being robbed, you're not imagining it. You're experiencing the reality millions face every month. America's electricity crisis is not just about voltage and wires. It's about fairness, survival, and dignity. And this is only the start. More price hikes are already planned. Stay tuned for the next video because the fight between people and utility giants is far from over. So what's the real story? The American energy system isn't failing by accident. It's failing because it was built decades ago, patched over with duct tape, and handed to corporations who treat it like a revenue farm. The grid is outdated, the regulators are weak, the policies are inconsistent, the companies are profit-driven, and the public is paying the price. Energy should be getting cheaper with modern technology. Instead, it's getting more expensive because the system prioritizes shareholders, not citizens. Until America rebuilds its grid, reforms regulations, and stops letting monopolies decide prices in the dark, power bills will keep rising, and everyday people